Howdy all, Nimby here. Good morning. Gonna be doing up some CDC Emergers this morning. Hopefully you're all having a great, what day is it today? Sunday? We're gonna start with some 50 denier Semperfly Nano Silk today because it's a smaller pattern. We have a size 12 in the vise here, but it's kind of honestly more like a size 14 to be honest. It's a pretty small 12. Oh, I'm doing well. Hopefully you're doing having a good day as well, mate. Oop. Alright, let's try that again. Got all this cat hair fluff everywhere. There we go. Yeah, this is slippery stuff. Okay, so you want to make sure you get a smooth thread base all the way down. You will want a thread base because we're going to be wrapping up a biot and it needs a little something to grip to so you can torque it down enough. You definitely don't want to do that on a bare shank. You can even add a little bit of wax or a little bit of head cement if need be, if you have problems with that section. So we're just going to wrap this back and it's going to go into the bend. We're going to go past the barb there. Oh, that's great. Yeah, that's what I'm shooting for too. I do have to work today, but not until later today, so we're going to do some tying this morning. And sorry it took me a little bit to get started here. I normally start earlier, but I had to dig through all my boxes to find my CDC. Or my other bag of CDC in any event. Okay, so for the first part here, most people use like a Zelon or an Antron. I'm just using a Fentex, which is just a different variety of Antron or Zelon. They're all extruded the same. It has a slightly different extrusion pattern to it, but it's in essence the same thing. And you don't need a lot. I'm just going to separate this out so it's easier. Should probably have to separate a couple times, but most of the time when you buy this type of material, it's going to be in sections. You can kind of see there how it's separating. So we just want to separate it out, and it'll be connected at points like it's doing right there, where it's melted together, and that's just part of the manufacturing process. So as long as you hold on to the material that you're separating really well so it doesn't pull out, then you can kind of just torque on it and take it out like that. This is going to be a whole lot more than we need, but I'm just separating out so we can get a few of these done. Now this is just for the tail whiffs, so we want about 8 to 12 fibers. That's a whole lot more than what we're needing. So again, separate it again. This time I'm going to try and get down to the right amount of fibers, which is roughly about there, you can see. So if you're wondering how many you need, you want to try and keep it about the thickness of the hook shank with the wraps on it. So right about there. We'll hang on to this and just give it a little whoop, tag it out. And we'll save that piece so we can get quite a few flies out of one little chunk of this. This is just for the tail whiffs. You don't want them all stuck together, so after you cut it, you're going to want to rough up the end so they're not all bound up together, and just flatten it and separate them out like so, so that all the fibers are doing their thing. And what you're looking for, like I said, you can use many different types of material for the tail part here. any type of Antron or Zelon. Hopefully, actually, I might show it better on my hand there. You can see how it's all crinkly fibers, and they all are wavy. So that's what you're looking for. You're going to find that in a lot of different poly type blend synthetic materials. So if you can't find Antron or Zelon, or it's just out of your price range or what have you, a lot of carpet material actually is the same stuff. It's made out of the exact same stuff. So if you get some carpeting, or even an old carpet, doesn't have to be new carpeting material, but a lot of pile carpet will actually be made out of this exact same stuff. So if you're ever in the thrift stores or different places where they'll have leftover materials, if someone's doing push rugs or that kind of thing, that material will work just perfect for this as well. As long as it's not too kinked up. Of course, you'll have to pick and choose to get a straight enough piece like this. But yeah, that's what we're looking for right there. It's a little bit of a tail. Okay, so for the size of the tail on this one, you want to have it as your hook gap. So we'll measure that. So right about there is good. Again, this is a lot of material here for the tail, so a little bit of this stuff will go a long way for you. I had it tied in okay there. I'm gonna have to adjust it. It kind of slipped around the shank on me. There we go. I think we got her back. Get another couple wraps on there just to secure it in. Okay. That looks a little, just a hair long to me, so I'm gonna shorten that up. There we go. That's looking better. Okay, so 3 more wraps up top, because this nano silk is slippery. And I'm gonna grab all this, bring it up, and get 1 wrap just underneath it, like that. Because we want it to stand up a little bit. So that when it's, you retrieve these in like little strips, so you're stripping them in about 3 to 5 inches. Actually, not quite 5, probably 1 to 3 inches. 5 if you're in a hurry and probably want to not catch anything. But there we go. So that's what we're looking for. Just a little poof out the back end like that. Okay, and we're going to cut that off close in. And very gently tie that tag end down. Excuse me. Tried to mute myself, I missed the button there. Oh, there you go. Good morning, all. Something crawled up my nose. Okay, so we're gonna back this up a little bit, just covering our tag in there. Apologize, I probably should have wore a lighter color shirt. I thought this was gonna be light enough, being that it's like dark brown material, but either case. Our next material is gonna be turkey biot. It's a nice chunk of mahogany turkey biot. You can use, on a smaller sizes, you can use the just regular goose, which is what this one is. But they're quite a bit smaller, so you got to be really careful with your wrap lengths. Make sure you got enough to get all the way up there. The turkeys are going to be a good bit longer and thicker as well. Okay. In a second, you need 2 hands to cut this off. Okay, this piece has a little bit of a broken end on it, just when they're, this is a new strip, so when they're cutting it into the bag, they clip the tips off, unfortunately. But I mean, it's not, I'm not missing a whole lot, so I'm gonna use this guy. Ideally, you want to tie it in by the tip there. Just seeing here. It's hard. Normally you can tell pretty easily what side has. There's a rib on one side. I want to tie that rib in. So it's showing. Sorry guys, normally this is easier for me. I'm trying to tell what side the rib's on this one. It almost feels like there's 2. That's weird. Oh. Okay, and I dropped it in my trash can, so let's grab another one. Yeah, come on, Nimby, get your crap together. Jesus. Hey, buddy. Enjoy spending your morning watching me drop my material in the trash bin. This one's kind of the same way. That's weird. They look more cupped than what I'm used to. Okay, so I think the ridge is on this side. Sorry guys, honestly, I don't normally have this much trouble sorting this out. Maybe it's just the dye job. It's hard for me, my eyes to see. This side looks lighter when I hold up the light, and this side looks thicker on the bottom, so that must be my ridge side. So we want to tie it in so that the ridge is, when it's flipped over, is on the tail side of the fly. So I'll tie it in this way. And this piece is looking a little short, but I think we'll make it. I said, unfortunately, they cut the tips off of these. So if you want the rib to show, then you want to tie the rib on the downhill, or the hook point of the fly. Oh, I guess I missed that. 1 second. Wow, I'm just not on the ball this morning. Apologies. Okay. That definitely looks like I got it caught in. Nope. Man, is it just this nano silk that's slippy as all get out? One second, I'm gonna put some rosin on that. Do 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 do. Yeah, hopefully your morning's going good, buddy. I will say this thread is nice and thin, doesn't really build up a lot of bulk, which is nice. Alright, let's fight with the turkey biot again. Okay. So, it looks like holding it up to the light. I don't know if you guys can see on the camera, can you? One side's a little darker than the other, just a hair on the top. That's your rib. And the rib looks like it's on the top side now. So I want the rib to be on the back and sticking up as well. Which it feels like it is. So when we wrap it, it will be exposed. You can also do the other direction to do a smooth body without the rib. And you can do a reverse rib, which is the same thing, but you're crushing the rib underneath, basically. There, that bit in way better. Just gonna smooth this out a little bit here where the material's tied in. We'll bring it back up. Alright, and because the goose biots are so rigid compared to the turkey compared to the goose, I'm going to use some hackle pliers on it just so I can put a little more pressure. Man, did I get that ribbon the wrong side? Okay, 1 second here. I apologize, guys. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble seeing what side the rib's on this one. Normally it stands out like a sore thumb. I think I'm just gonna have to wrap it. See what we get when we get there. I can't tell. Hopefully we get it right. Hey Dota, good to come in or have you in, mate. Okay, I'm seeing some ribs sticking up, so I think I got her in the right angle. I apologize for that. I gotta grab my glasses. I swear I'm not blind. I'm colorblind, so The glasses help with that, but for the life of me, I can't see this. Freaking buy it. Yeah, okay, hold on, guys. I'm gonna grab my glasses. Sorry. Yeah, thanks for stopping in, Dota. Sorry about that. I can't see this stuff. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm confused. Okay, there we go. Let's just try and get this done. Might switch to like an olive or something after. Okay, I can definitely... I can see my ridges there. I have them a bit close, so I'm just going to rewrap that one more time. Okay, so I guess I do have it the right direction. Basically, it's like a flattened C shape, so if you get it the right direction, that end of the C that sticks out like a hook, that's actually shaped kind of like a hook, will stick up like a little ridge. And that is exactly what we're shooting for. And having a nice flat body. Okay, yeah, it does look like I got my ridge going. That acts as a segmentation without adding any more bulk to the pattern. So you want to kind of just have that segmentation overlapping the last wrap. Oop. Don't. I promise I will get this under control at some point. Morning. Come join the Nimby Funhouse and watch Nimby mess up his emergers. I'm not sure why this is giving me so much trouble, but it's alright. We will continue and persevere. Thanks for coming in, Ewos. Good to have you, mate. Yeah, I might switch to like an olive after this, because this color is not working with my eyeballs. I know that's 100% on me, so I apologize for that. And my biot split on me. That's fine. Thankfully it split right at the end, so we'll capture that and tie it in here. Buddy. Hey, there you go. Yeah, I worked today, but I want to get some tying done this morning. Okay. I'm happy with that body, but man, did that ever take some work to get to. But hopefully you can see that now, that it's got that rib to it. Just a very, very slight rib. Yeesh. I apologize, guys. I guess my eyeballs are just not working for me this morning. Hey, Canadian. Welcome in. I'm actually surprised how little Canadian viewers I get compared to other places. Like it's almost as I almost get as many in India and Greece and stuff. Well, I'm feeling the same way because my eyeballs aren't working for me this morning. It's like, God, I'm getting old. Alright, so we got the little tail on there. We got the biot body. I'm going to tie in my CDC next. And I actually plucked the CDC myself. So that makes me happy. So I know where it came from. There's a little CDC feather. And we're going to tie it in long and then just pull it back so that we can make sure all the strands are facing the right way. I'm just going to tie it in with the feather facing me on this side, and as I wrap it, it should GFA hopper. Remind me what that is. Is that like a synthetic hopper? Like foam? Okay, when you do pull back your CDC, you want to have it basically like the gap height. So we're a little bit over double what I really want there. I'm going to pull it back a bit. And I'm going to get a couple wraps underneath it just to stand it up. Pull it back. Just like that. There we be. So yeah, you want to just give them a little mohawk, you know? It's just to imitate the breathing gills. Oh, okay, I think I know the one. I need to do more foam tying, actually. I got a good amount of foam stocked up. I just need to get into actually tying it. There we go. I'm happy with that. So yeah, so you want to have it. You can use your scissors as like a measuring forceps or caliper or whatever. So that's the length. So we want to cut it down, actually almost by half. Surprising. Thought I had it close enough there. So yeah, we'll go with that length and I'll tie it up. Stand it back up again. Now this nano silk just does not build up much of any bulk at all. I'm gonna use this to tie my mosquitoes, that'd be great. There we go. That'll work. Okay, we'll cut that off. I'm just gonna cover that tag end. Come on now. Just want to cover that tag end just a little bit, mainly so we got a nice place to get our dubbing in. Okay, yeah, I used to have, I made some nice stackers out of some brass from, I think my original one was a 303 actually, but I found that like I had these 410 shells that were just solid brass, like a reloading 410, and they worked a treat. They were like just the right, you know, diameter. But I think they're almost exactly the same diameter as a 303 outer diameter. So same difference really, just different brass. I'm gonna throw in. I think I'm gonna do some beaver. That's a good beaver color, eh? Where's my beaver in here? Beaver, where are you? Are you beaver? You look like beaver. Probably should have labeled this when I made it. I was like, nah, I'll remember what's what. It's like, nope, don't remember. Are you beaver? You look like beaver. Let's see. Yeah, that's a good color. I'll go with that one. Yeah, you got pretty long guard hairs. You look like beaver. Yeah, your poofy is all get out. You're definitely beaver. Okay. Yeah, I'm not talking all about the neck. I'm talking about the the body of the shell, right? Yeah, it's not like we're loading, not like we're loading tips into it. We're just, stacking hair in it. Uh, but another one that made out of brass stuff. This thing's rather cool. And it's a little hackle plier. It's quite old. Someone made it up for my fly tie mentor quite a while ago. Hey, Valhalla. Yeah, I was in your stream for a little bit last night before I had to take off. That machine's cool. I always like machines that can do the. It just fascinates me when they're cutting things like gears and they're rotating it, and then like by the time they get all the way around the circle, it's like perfect. And I don't know, just tickles me pink that that's even possible. I know you weren't cutting gears there, but I like those machines. I think they're really cool. Alright, so we're just going to use a little tuff of beaver underpelt. Don't need a whole lot. Just going for a really kind of thin noodle, and we're just going to wrap this around for the thorax. You could definitely use like muskrat or other stuff for this too. Yeah, you can empty your paycheck out doing that kind of thing. Alright, so we got a little stub behind the thorax there for a thorax. Now I like to try and get at least one or two wraps in front of the. So we'll see if that'll work. Oop. Dang, that was kind of a mistake. I got my dub and wax all over my CDC. Dang it. Well, it's still there, but it got rid of its poofiness because now it's all covered in wax. Well, sorry about that, guys. Oh well. Still looks like a champ. Man. Not my fly today. Really? I can't even get a half hitch on here. Man, what is up? Hey, Maddie. Come hang out and struggle with Nimby for a bit. God, I don't know why. I'm just having so many issues this morning. I know they're all my issues, not like anything. I can't blame it on anything. It's 100% me. I feel fine. I don't feel like I'm like out of it today. I don't know. Well, we all have those days, right? Just keep on trucking on. Hey, good to have you, Maddie. Oh, what was the one you tied? I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, Maddie. You tied up some, what the hell was it now? Or at least your short that I saw of it. I really liked that one. It was kind of a tan color, if I recall, with some blue in it. Hi. There we go. All CDC Emerger with a straightened out hairdo. Alright, so next one I'll make that a little shorter. Maybe I'll actually just try and do the dubbing without any wax. That might be it's a little emerging midge. Oh, it must have been the dry fly then. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Okay, we're gonna do another one, and hopefully we'll have a little better luck with it. I'm still gonna do a spin and spiel on this guy, just in case my second one turns out worse. Yeah, it's... Man, I don't know if it's my lighting. I'm just having a heck of a time. Looking on the video, I can clearly see the rib on the video, but like for my own eyes, I can't see it. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. Yeah, I was working, so I wasn't able to chat, but I was watching. And I caught the short later on, too. But yeah, I'll try. I don't know if I just got my lighting wrong or what it is. But yeah, my own eyes, I can't see that rib for the life of me, like at all. But I can see it on the video, which is kind of crazy. Either way. Alright, we'll do a quick little spin and spiel here. I'll be right back. And today in the vise we have a CDC Emerger. We got some Zelon tied in for the tail. It's a little puff out the back, about 12 to 8 strands or so will do you. Don't need a whole lot. And all the way up the body is a mahogany brown wrapped turkey biot with the ribs sticking out and a little bit of beaver to fill out the thorax area. And a CDC feather, which I accidentally squished, so it's a little bit on the squishy side, but it's all good. Little emerging CDC Emerger for you there, little midge. Wonderful little pattern. Should definitely have a bunch of these in your box in different colors and variations. Thanks kindly, eh? Yeah, I need to practice my parachute flies more often, to be honest. Not that I can't time, I'm just honestly not as good as I definitely could be at them, that's for sure. I haven't tied very many, but they work well and they're fun to tie. And we're gonna stick him down on the bottom here. He's just a little toot. Look at him. It's amazing fish can even see those in the water, but they definitely do. They're extremely effective up here, especially in like early kind of late spring, more late spring than early spring. All right, let's get another couple going. Hopefully I'll get in the groove here. Man, that one was rough. I apologize. Yeah, nothing's worse than having health problems, man. I hope it clears up for you. That'll do. Yeah, Tommy, hopefully things will get better for you that way. Nothing sucks more than having health problems. Unless your eyes just aren't working and you can't see the fly you're tying on live. I really have no idea why I'm having so much trouble with that brown biot, but it's really weird. I can see it just fine on the video. I'll have to probably look at the screen. Okay, so we're going to tie this all the way back well past our barb there, because we want to just get into the bend. Oop, and not try to catch our thread on the... Get a couple wraps secured in there and we'll cut off our tag end. Nimby needs to sharpen his scissors. It's time. Actually, for this fly, I'll switch to my other scissors because those ones are getting pretty knackered. We'll switch to these guys. Where is it? There we are. Alright, so again, Zelon, Antron Zelon. This is technically an Olon, which is in the same family. But basically it's marketed as Fentex in Canada. But you want about 8 to 12 fibers, so hopefully you can see that there. Don't need a whole lot, just a little bit. This is more to act as the shucking of the body material than an actual tail, and also just to give it some movement in the water. And you want to have that gap height, so looking gap height right about there. And I want to keep it on top of the hook, so I'm just going to do a soft wrap. Get around that hook point. There, looking good so far. Oh, and I pop it. Alright, let's try that. See if I can recover this. A lot of times you grab both ends and just rock it a bit, it'll get back on top of the shank. There we go. I just lost my tension for a second there. Okay, I'm gonna shorten that up just a wee bit. There we go. That'll work. Okay, then I'm gonna hold it up. Now it's probably gonna be hard to see on the camera, but I'm gonna get underneath it, which just did, with the thread. I'm going to do one wrap. I'm going to get this tight so it's pulling it up like that. One wrap or two around to hold that tension. There, that'll hold the tail up just a bit so it's not laying right against the shank. That'll give you a little bit more movement in the water. Because it's a still water fly, you're not going to be fishing this in like a creek or anything, so that little bit of extra movement will help a lot. Oh yeah, wait. Habits. Switch these ones. They should be much sharper. There we go. Save that for the next one. Yeah, I'm hoping ours stays the same where, I mean, thankfully we had a bit of a cold snap. We went from plus 17 down to minus 18 in like one day. And it doesn't normally happen. It's actually the first time I've ever had my pipes freeze, and I actually had my well pump freeze. Just enough for it to slow down, and then I went and turned on the heaters and stuff. I just was expecting it, since it was going from such a high, plus 17, it's a huge difference, to minus 18 in one day. So I figured, well, the ground's gonna hold the heat for at least a couple days. Is what I figured, but guess not. It just is just like Arctic plunge, and then it's only lasted another day, and we're back to I think minus 3 today, and it's gonna be hovering around there for a bit. So not again another cold snap, but not enough to get the ice on the lake thick enough. Well, I can check it again. It might have, but I don't think so after just one day. I'm gonna try and pull a biot out of the middle here. Sorry guys, let me fight with this for a second. I normally actually like to cut these in half, and I might end up doing that just so it's a little easier to strip the biots all the way. Sounds like it. That thing sounds awesome. Okay, this is much better. Maybe I should have done this last time, because now I can clearly see the rib on that. I'm not sure if you guys can make it out or not. But see, you can clearly see the rib on the one side, and that's what it normally is. Maybe that end of that thing is just buggered up. Okay, well, from now on, I'll pull these out. Okay, yeah, I can clearly see the rib on that side, so I want the rib backing up. Alright, well, this should work much better, and I have the tip to actually tie in this time. The other one's broken. There you go. Nimby's gonna blame his materials, because we can. 'Cause that's what we do. I'm just gonna segment this up. I'll stop like right here. Now, this one is substantially longer too. I probably should have done this on the last one. Oop. Ha! Apparently I grabbed more than one. Okay, that's fine. We'll use that one for the next one. Oh, that was weird. Actually, just for my own sanity here, I'm gonna do a half hitch and just move my little bobbin out of the way, so it's not banging up against everything. Yeah, normally I like literally have 4 to 5 feet of ice right now, and like we have some ice, but it was open water just last week, like completely open, and then it iced up again, and it's just like, it's just been going up and down, and it's like I don't feel safe. I know the ice is bad, and it's like it's thick enough to walk on, but I know how many times it's thawed and refroze and thawed and refroze, and it's just like, oh, dude, I don't feel safe out there with it being what it is. And I mean, in that lake, or in quite a few lakes around here, it's not like the end of the world if you fall in, but like, I mean, nobody wants to fall in anyway, right? Come on, you. There we go. Yeah, I've fallen in numerous times. I mean, it's not as bad as, um, how did that get twisted around? Uh, did I get that twisted around? Yeah, but falling through the ice isn't as. I'll check it out there, Raft, and see if maybe I can give it a go. Wow, that did flip around on me at some point. Or did I get that wrong? I'm getting the ribs sticking out here. What happened? One second, let's do that again. Obviously got. Shorts are great for pattern identification and stuff, I will say. Yeah, I know, that's the thing. Like, most of the lakes around here are only, or not, are 4 to like 7 feet deep, so you're not gonna like drown, but it sucks. Not only that, like if I was out there, I want to be filming, and it's a great way to lose a lot of camera gear. Yeah, have a great one. Wow, what is going on here? It looks like it's. Yeah, please do. I'm curious. And it sounds like a great pattern. How is this getting? Wait, one second, guys. I gotta do this again. I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong here. Okay, the ridge is clearly on that side. Oh, that's very true. Yeah, the mud is definitely a concern for sure. Okay, I'm just gonna wrap this, guys, because I'm not necessarily losing my patience. I'm just not sure what's going on with it. So I'm just gonna wrap it, and that's what we're gonna get. Because to me, it looks like it's going fine until like about here, and then it looks like it changes, and I'm not sure what is going on with that. But yeah, anyway, I've just like I really want to go out ice fishing on my lake. I go by it every day, and it's like I don't have. What is going on? You guys can see that, right? Like I'm not going crazy here, am I? Maybe I just got a damaged rip. But you can see the ridge is here, so those are coming in fine. And then like right about here, it just disappears. So maybe it is a damaged quill. For the life of me, I can't see it. Okay, well, whatever. Is what it is. I can't. I'm gonna chalk it up to damaged quill because I can't figure out why it's doing that. Anyone see what I'm not seeing? This is not making any sense to me. This side looks fine. Right here. That's all good. And then it just stops. Dude, I don't know. Oh well. It's okay. A fish is not going to care. I get some flack from the Instagram crew though, I'm sure. It's not a perfect fly. Might grab another turkey biot. Maybe it's just this section of turkey biot. It's either damaged or just genetically weird. Yeah, I don't know, Ewaz, if you can see what I'm not seeing. I don't know. But you see what I mean? It looks like I got, because they're like, it's hard to explain, but they're kind of like C-shaped or cupped, right? And then you have like, this ridge will stick out on one side. So I got the ridge going all the way up, and then it just like stops. So, dude, I don't know. That's freaking weird. It's not the end of the world. My brain's just trying to figure out what the hell's going on. That's all. Alright, let's grab us another CDC here. There's a little baggie full. Pull these off a mallard that my friend harvested. So, it's cool when you can get your own CDC. You know it actually came from the right spot on the duck. I'm gonna grab a little puffy one this time. Yeah, I feel with all these issues I'm having with this fly today, I should switch over to something like pheasant tails or something simple for today. Now I'm suffering. I have no idea what's going on. Alright, so same thing, we want to have this roughly the hook gap and height, so we'll use our scissors. This is a measuring device. Yeah, that's good. Couple wraps, stand that up. There we go. Yeah, that's better. Beauty. Alright. Man, I'll get this pattern nailed yet. Let's get that tag in down a little bit. I'll slap in our beaver. Beaver girl. There we go. I'm going to try and dub this on without any wax, because I accidentally got wax all over the CDC last time. That didn't go so well. Just trying to get the guard hairs out of it. That should be enough. Maybe a hair more than enough, but we'll try it. Here, tell you what, I'm gonna use where's my beeswax? Let's do the tacky stuff. Where are you? I'll just use a little bit of rosin anyway. It'll help a little bit. Okay, so a little bit of beaver underduff. Yeah, that'll work. It's probably a hair too much here. That's good. We can always take it off if need be. Yeah, I'm gonna take a little bit of that out. Yeah, that's probably closer to what I need there. Always dub a little more on if we need to. There. Nice thing about like beaver and muskrat and stuff is if you get some good natural, like off the hide beaver or muskrat, you really don't need wax for it because it's got so much oil in it already that it just, and it's so fine, it just dubs beautifully. You really don't need the wax. Actually, I'm gonna get one more wrap back here. Just have a little bit bigger thorax on that. Beauty, okay. Come on now. Don't jump like that. There we go. Perfect. Okay, I'm happy with that one. Beauty, okay. Yeah, other than missing that one segmentation right there, I mean, she's looking pretty good. Yeah, right there. I mean, there should be one more segmentation. Just don't understand. There we go. I'd really like to go, and that's the thing is like, I could drive maybe about 2 or 3 hours and maybe find a good lake that's safe for ice fishing, or go into a different area where it stayed colder, but you know, I want to fish my lake, right? I live right next to it, or live right next to several excellent trout lakes. Like I literally walk and drive by them every day. And I want to fish my lake, you know? There are people out there that are risking it and fishing it, but it's very few. Like we've already lost a few. We lost a couple snowmobiles already. We've had a few kids fall through. So it's just not. It's not a good time. And it's just crazy. It's the only time in my whole life I can. Whew, okay. Yeah, I don't know why my coordination's just gone out the window today. Can't have any trouble with just whip finishing. Yeah, my whole life I can't think of a time when we didn't have ice this high up. And it's not like I'm high. I'm like, what am I? Almost 1,300 meters above sea level. So I'm between like two ski hills in a provincial park. So like, I'm high up. And it's not like we don't have the snowpack. We're at like 80% snowpack right now. Oh, actually, here, yeah, let's switch to the other scissors. Yeah, those are much sharper. I need to sharpen my scissors. Maybe I'll do a scissor sharpening video. What do you guys think? Anyone be interested in that? I could film it. There's so many tires out there that'll just simply just completely toss their tools, like they'll just completely toss their scissors and stuff when they get dull, and there's no need for it. I mean, I've sharpened these ones, oh, gotta be at least 20 plus times now. And yeah, they need to be sharpened again, but I mean, the point is I could have, thrown them out a good number of times already. There we go. Just gonna put a little whiff of head cement on that one. I don't think I did the last one. I think I forgot about it. Okay, there we go. Dark brown CDC Emerger. I probably should have wore a lighter colored shirt for this. I really thought this was gonna be okay. Oh well, I'm gonna get a spin and spiel in here. Just give me a moment, guys. On the vise today, we have a size 12 CDC Emerger. It's tied up with some Zelon or Antron for the tail. About 8 to 12 fibers from the bunch will be fine. And a mahogany brown turkey biot wrapped all the way up the body with a nice segmentation, and a little bit of beaver wrapped around the thorax, and a little CDC puff up top. Wonderful little pattern. Should definitely have a couple of these in your box. They really hit up in later spring once all the ridges are starting to emerge. You should definitely have these in numerous colors and sizes for your fly tying assortment. Thanks all. Have a good one. You can add a couple of these to your box, eh? Yeah, he was. If you want me to do up a video, I'll do up a video. I'm not like a professional sharpener by anyone's stretch of my imagination, but I do a lot of sharpening. So I was actually planning on doing like a little collab video with one of the I think it's Right Way Sharpening. Um, there's one local guy and there's another one in Texas that I follow on YouTube. I like watching their videos, and they are professionals. They actually sharpen scissors and stuff like that all day. The problem is I don't really have the tools that they do, and most people don't have the tools they do. So I'd try to do a video somewhere in the middle, so that I'm doing the video so the average person um, can sharpen it up and not have any issues. I think that would be more useful for more people, at least in my little niche anyway. Like for instance, you can get a wicked edge on something just using a coffee cup and a car window. I know it sounds silly, but a coffee cup is like your medium. Yeah, like a coffee cup is like your medium, and then you'd go to your car window, which is your ultra fine. Yeah, sharpening the scissors, although it's very similar, there is going to be some differences there just because the edge geometry is kind of completely different. But the same idea in the end, you just need to get your angles different. So these are Dr. Slick, but I've sharpened them so many times. I wonder if I can get the light on it. There we go. You can see the edge of the scissors there. It's wider at the top than it is at the base because that's where I do all my cutting, is in that section. Now it's still sharp. Like I wouldn't want to push my finger against it too hard, but I've sharpened this so many times that it was segmented. It was serrated at one point, and I can feel it when I run my fingernail across. I can still feel some of the serrations. But I've sharpened these so much that they've pretty much gone to flat. Like this one's completely flat now. There's nothing stopping my fingernail. But when I check this side here, I can definitely feel like it. I can feel the serrations in there. So I got a little bit more on this. And it's not like I'd have to throw them out once the serrations are gone. It's just the serrations are nice, you know, for grabbing the material and causing it to cut better. But long and short of it is, for scissors, you want to have your original surface where the two slide together. So this flat part, you want that to be flat and true, not have any nicks or ginks or anything on it. And then you're going to sharpen on the angle that this little flat spot is. There, the part that's shining white in the light. Oh, I think my exposure is actually overdone by a little bit. 1 second, let's see if I can adjust that quick. That's what happens when the sun comes out. Started filming and it was dark out. Let's go front. There we go, that's a little better. So yeah, so main thing with most scissors, unless you're using razor scissors get sharpened a lot more like you would sharpen a knife. There we go. So you can see that edge there. So there's a little bit of a flat edge all the way along here, and that's the angle that you want to have, you know, on the stone. Now you don't have to take these apart. Most scissors will have a little screw that you can take out. I generally find that they get stripped and it's just more of a pain. So I generally sharpen them on with the scissors together, and I'll just get that angle correct and then sharpen and then move on to the next one. But yeah, you can get a wicked edge if your scissors have some kind of decent steel, even junky steel. You can get a wicked edge on them. But you know, with all the cutting we do, they're going to eventually lose their edge and have to go get sharpened again. So these ones are the other type. So if you have a pair of scissors like the ones Brian sells or many other companies sell, they're a little different in that these are what would be termed as a razor scissor. So the blades themselves are curved, and when they're closed, there's a small hole. In this one it's hard to tell, but there's a small hole between the two blades, so they actually flex against each other. So those would be the razor scissors. These ones are kind of a in between a razor scissor and a regular scissor. They're just a cheap razor scissor. But you sharpen these a little bit differently because you need to have that the two of them flex against each other, and that friction as it moves along is what's doing most of the cutting. And they're sharpened a lot more like a they're still a single-sided blade, so it's still chisel grind in essence, but you can't sharpen this flat because it's a curved surface. So you need to sharpen just this angle You can see there, actually, it's picking up pretty good. The white part of the blade there, that's the angle that you'd sharpen, and I've sharpened these ones several times too. But that white there is the angle that you need to set on your stone. And then after you're done, you can't flatten that because it's not a flat surface, it's curved, as you can see. So you have to knock the burr off, and you can just use like leather, like a leather belt. You can use newspaper. You can use a lot of things that just have a very fine abrasive to them, because you're just taking that burr off, and then once the burr's off, they'll work fabulously. But yeah, in any event, yeah, I'll do that. I actually got some cheap Temu scissors. I could probably do a video on sharpening those up to you know, our standard of sharpness. As long as it'll cut. Here, we'll show you actually. So this is actually, if you're wondering if your scissors are too dull, this is an excellent test. And this is what a lot of fly tying stores and stuff will use too. So hopefully you can see this. Can you guys see the thread there? See the thread? Yeah, let's get you more in the center. Yeah, there we go. Alright, unfortunately I need two hands, but you see the thread? This is just really thin 50 denier DSP or GSP. Hey K-Fish! And if your scissors are sharp enough, and again, these are just cheap razor scissors, these are not expensive at all. If your scissors are sharp enough, it should be able to be loose and limp like this. And you should be able to, whoop, as I say that, it's not working. You should be able to cut the GSP. Cut. Okay, I guess I do need to sharpen these up. Huh, okay, so if you have limp GSP and your scissors won't cut it, then they're not sharp enough. Yeah, see, and this one won't at all cut it. These ones are really dull now. You can see it's just murdering the thread and not actually cutting it. I'll pull a little bit more out. So if we do the same thing, I'm gonna have to wrap this around my finger or something so I can get a little tension on it. There we go. Come on, you. Behave yourself. Okay. I'm gonna use my vise here to do it, just because. Okay, you don't need a whole lot of tension, but if you have a bit of tension, even if you have dull scissors, oh, I guess you guys can't see that way. There you go. Even if you have dull scissors, you should be able to cut it with tension, see? But if you have, if your scissors are sharp enough, they should be able to cut GSP without any, especially thinner GSP like this, without any tension. And both of these scissors were able to do that like a month ago, and they can't do that now, so they need to be sharpened. Yeah, I'm mucking up my thread here. Hold on a second. Hey, good to have you in, K-Fish. There we go. Well, hopefully that makes a little sense to you, and I'll try and wrap that up into a video that actually is useful. But yeah, if you just need to do a quick sharpening, especially on like kitchen knives and stuff, just grab a. This is a horrible example because it's not the right kind of cup, but the bottom of a mug, not this type because this is clay. Yeah, it's just a hand spun cup that one of my friends made for me, which I very much like, and it's a nice cup. But in any case, normally on the bottom of your coffee mug, you'll have that circle where it's not glazed, like this is the glaze, right? So it doesn't stick to the kiln. There'll be a circle on the bottom of your coffee mug. And every mug's a little different, so you can go through your mugs and have a look. But you know, like your cheaper kind of Chinese knockoff coffee mugs that you get, they'll have a white porcelain on it. And that the part that sticks through, as long as there's no glaze or other big niches or anything sticking out, that circular ring around the bottom of your coffee mug is like actually like a premium knife sharpening stone. It's for like a dry stone, if you just want to get an edge back on your knife, flip your coffee mug over, and it's also safe because you got a handle on it. It's up above, and you're going to be striping away from your hand, so it's really safe to use as well. And it doesn't cost you anything. You already got a whole cupboard full of them. It'll leave black marks on it, but they'll wash off. That's just the steel that's actually cutting off of the blade. And you can just get that angle, try to practice getting your angle right and just rubbing it on that circle. And it works really good for things like kitchen knives because that's the type of angle that you want to use for a convex blade, which generally most kitchen knives are. Yeah, and that'll get you like 80% of the way there, right? So it'll be sharp enough. You do that, give it a good, I don't know, depending how dull your knife is, 15, 20 strokes around the coffee mug. And that's your like coarse grind. So it's like a medium fine. And most of the time you've just lost your edge on a kitchen knife. You don't have to worry about working out any dings or nicks or anything like that for the most part. And then once you've done that, most people have like a wooden cutting board or a wooden knife block or something wood they don't care terribly much about. Just take your edge and just drag your edge along the piece of wood just lightly. You'll feel it grab and nick, and it should grab evenly along. If you're dragging it and it's grabbing and then it slips and then it grabs again, then the part where it slips you didn't quite sharpen enough, so you can go back at it. That'll also knock off. Oh, I'm using a 12 on these. They say 12, but they're honestly probably closer to a 14. They're quite small for a 12. And I typically, when I'm tying, I'll use like the largest size hook. Hey Mark, good to have you in. I'll typically use the larger size hooks for the live streams just because they're a little bigger and everyone can see them a little better. It turns out a little better for the video to have a slightly bigger hook, even if it doesn't match the pattern as much. Yeah, but after you've done your coffee cup grind, and you can practice this on a knife you don't care terribly much about, you're not going to hurt the thing, right? Like worst case scenario, you just make it a bit duller, but that's not likely. But after you get your knife done on your coffee cup, like again, 15 to 20 rounds is normally more than enough. Then you can take your knife and go to your car window, and you want to roll down your car window, and you just want to do maybe 5 to 10 passes at the most along the edge of your car window. So if your car window is like this, the part that sticks up in the top of your roof as you lower your car window down, you'll see there's a very fine kind of rough edge to it, and that's like, it's tempered glass, so it's like really high tensile, so it's the equivalent of a very fine sanding stone. And just give your knife a couple strokes over top of your car window edge, and it'll just hone the edge like right up, and that'll be sharper than any other knife you got in your drawer most likely. Oh, sorry. It's yeah, I mean, like it's like a small, almost like a cross between a scud and a midge hook. It's got a flat top but a curved back to it, so I guess that would be more of a buzzer midge hook. You're probably right. Okay, so we're gonna grab some more of that Antron, Zelon, whatever you want to call. Again, this is just Fentex for me because I'm in Canada. Same stuff though. It's all manufactured in the same plants. Okay, and we want to have it hook gap, so we're gonna go down to hook gap, bink, bring it out. But yeah, I think I'll do up a little video on the sharpening. Like I said, I'm not an expert on it, but I do take a lot of pride in how well I can sharpen things, and I have a lot of sharpening equipment. Not that you need a lot, but I'd probably do a video more on like how the regular person can sharpen their fly tying stuff, because if you own like a $300 whetstone, you probably already know how to sharpen some. I'd rather do a video, like I said, using common materials like a coffee cup or a car window, things that we all own already, we don't have to buy. And honestly, they will give you, I can get a knife just as sharp with a coffee cup and my car window than I can with my like several $100 sharpening stone sets. Hey Doug, good to have you in, mate. Come hang out with us while I struggle with some buzzers. Good. At this rate, I'm just waiting for spring. I don't think we're gonna get cold enough weather now. We actually started, we have this, oh, no worries, Yoshi. Cool. Yeah, no, I was enjoying your parachutes. That's what it was then. That one parachute you tied, I really liked. It had that nice orange parachute post. I like the orange. It really stands out good, especially if your eyeballs are failing it. The orange really stands out good in the water. And I think it's like a nice attractor hotspot too. Dude, you're making a steak? God, you're gonna make me hungry. Yeah, I was really enjoying Maddie's parachute flies there. I was busy working, so I couldn't do a whole lot, but yeah, just give me a moment while I struggle with this turkey biot again. Oh, I had it and I dropped it. Come on now. Man, these turkey biots are so stiff compared to the goose. Just trying not to damage them. Yeah, exactly. I think they're really cool. Trying to rip out a couple so I can start a section. There we go. Hey, oh, wrong one. There we go. Gee. Come on, Nimby. Okay. Okay, now this one. Yeah, I like Maddie's music too. I need to do that and start using some copyright music instead of always the copyright free stuff, but habits and all. Okay, so this one has a very clear ridge on this side. We are going to attempt to get that ridge to sit up properly. I have no idea why I'm struggling with this one so bad. Okay. Okay, so there's the ridge. Yeah, everyone says should subscribe so you don't miss out on more Nimby's fly tying blunders. Just gonna even this little lump here from tying that tail in a little bit, and we'll get our thread back up. There we go. Okay, let's use our hackle pliers again. Yeah, I mean, like, I get the whole small stuff being, oh my god. Oh. Yeah, Maddie, I can agree. Yeah, I will agree with Maddie has some giant sausage fingers. I could definitely see him having some problems with anything under 18. I don't mind tying the small stuff, I really don't. It's just, God, did I lose it again? Okay, there's the rib. I'm sorry, guys. I can see it better in the camera than I can see it on my eyeballs. I don't normally have this much problems with it. Just this color, I guess. I apologize. Like I'm colorblind, so some things I just can't see. Thanks for the subscribe, buddy. Okay, I'm gonna try tying it in this way. I think. Normally I can feel it better than I can see it. That side. It looks like it's that side. Okay, well, we're gonna tie it in that way. We're gonna go with it. Yeah, I apologize, man. Yeah, I lost my color vision when I was, I think I was 18-ish, 18, 19. Actually, probably, yeah, more like 19, because I was out of high school. And I used to work as a graphic artist slash 3D animator, and I was actually animating for the original Toy Story. And I did that scene where they do the remote control car going down the road, and I animated all the trees and a bunch of stuff in Sid's house and all that stuff. But in any event, I'll sit there editing some background textures for some trees, and I covered up one of my eyes just because I was tired and like had my face in my hand. Now all of a sudden all the color went out of the image, and I was like, what the hell? I thought it was like a problem with my monitor. And then yeah, it was a pleasure to work on that. And I took my hand away from my face, and all of a sudden the color came back in the image, and I was like, what the hell? Like, I thought it was like a monitor issue. Oh, I missed one wrap there. Let me go back. And yeah, I missed the. Did I do it again? One second. Why am I having problems? I get right to that point and like my brain just shuts off. Okay, yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah, no, that's okay. Yeah, sorry, lost my train of thought there. So, pulled my hand away from my eye, and then everything on the monitor adjusted, and all the red and the colors came back, and I was like, what the hell? Like, I'm just way too tired. I need to take a break and stop doing this. This is kind of what I was thinking. then afterwards I noticed like, no, this is actually something wrong. Like I'm not, when I cover up my one eye, I lose all the colors. And like it takes a few minutes for the colors to disappear because my brain's compensating with the other eye. But yeah, that's how I learned that I was colorblind. And yeah, that made it really hard with my career because I was a graphic artist and had to see colors, so that was a kick in the stomach. But yeah, I got to work with Industrial Light and Magic and create that whole run scene with the little RC car. It's really cool. But honestly, I just felt like the amount of work you put in, like you give your heart and soul to those projects, and like the amount that you get paid for it is like way less than minimum wage for the amount of effort that you put in and the amount of time because you're contracted. And of course, everyone wants their part of whatever they're working on to be, obviously the best it can be. So after doing it for a few years, it's like, it was my dream to be an animator and up on that level. And I did it. I got there, I did the thing, and it was like, yeah, this isn't what I expected. So I moved out and went into computers. And I am just getting over a flu. I mean, this is the first couple days where I'm kind of starting to feel normal again. Maddie knows what that's all about. Ugh. So maybe I'm just not fully recovered yet. That's all good. We all have our struggles. That's a cute little poof. That worked out well. Okay, I'll add some more beaver to that. Man, a little beaver goes a long way with these things. I just use just the fluff. Just the under fur. Try to pull out all the guard hairs. This one doesn't have a lot. I got most of the guard hairs out. Actually, a neat little hack. Yeah, thankfully I was in a high school, one of the few in BC that actually had an animation class. So I got to learn how to use like Maya and 3D Studio Max at the time and Autodesk Animator. And oh, I'm glad mine only lasted like 3 or 4 days, but that's why I wasn't streaming for a little bit there too, is I just Honestly, spent most of my time sleeping. My kid missed a couple days of school as well, same thing. Of course, if you're looking after your kids, then you're gonna end up getting sick too. It's just the way it goes, right? Oh, sorry, you always didn't know your wife was sick too. I know Maddie's been suffering with the plague for a while. His little guy. There we go. We just got a little tight little noodle that keeps screwing up. Come on, man. Hey, oh, good enough. It's not just good, it's good enough. There we go. And maybe one more turn there. Yeah, maybe one turn there. It's a problem with the supernatural CDC too, is it's got a lot of grease on it still, so it likes to stick to itself. Once you cast this around and fish it, it'll all fluff back up though. That's beaver. It's a lighter side of the beaver pelt anyway. I got some darker stuff here too, but in this case I wanted to get kind of like a browny gray color kind of in there. Thanks, mate. The small little emergers really aren't my jam, but they're everyone's jam where I live. These are the most popular flies by far. If you go into any fly shop, they're just gonna have a wall of chronomids and emergers and small little nymphs. Oh, okay. What kind of pelts you shaving? What am I even looking for? There we are. We're finished. Wow, come on, brain. I haven't shaved up a pelt in a while. I normally, little hack that I found that works really well, and since I have a dog, I have the dog brush already. But you get one, oh my god. Come on, Nimby, hold it together. Wow, okay, come on. Yeah, I got muskrat sitting right beside my. I probably could have used muskrat for this, to be honest. But I got gobs of muskrat pelts. Yeah. What was I gonna say now? So you're doing hares, ear, or I guess rabbit, mole, squirrel, mole dubbing. Interesting. I have some of that, but I just don't have like a mole pelt. Squirrel and fox. I've never used fox for dubbing. I use like the underfur. I use fox for like tails and stuff. I've never heard of fox being used for dubbing. Do you just mix it in for like guard hairs? Yeah, thankfully they're plentiful in Canada. There's lots of trappers here, so I don't have problems with furs. Feathers, on the other hand, for some birds are definitely hard to get here. But yeah, Maddie, I'm interested. What are you doing with the fox? I might have to check that out. Not that I wouldn't want to anyway, but sorry, I half lost my train of thought there with the tip I was going to give everyone. There's a certain type of dog brush you can get that's meant for stripping out the undercoat on dogs. The brand name one is called the Furminator, and I can attest that they work exceedingly well for cats and dogs for getting the underfur out. Yeah, eBay's great if you can get them through. But the Furminator brush, so it's basically like a regular metal comb brush, but as it tapers down the teeth, there's the equivalent of a razor blade or a sharpened point below, so it'll comb through and then it'll cut whatever actually gets to the razor blade part, and it'll help pull out the underfur without taking out the main guard hairs. So you can use the same thing on, your muskrat pelt, beaver pelt, whatever, and it'll strip the underfur out and leave the guard hairs behind, most of them anyway, vast majority of them, still on the pelt. Because sometimes you want to use the guard hairs for certain flies, and sometimes you want to use the underfur for certain flies. So it's really easy to strip it with one of those. And like, it won't take it all off, but you get more than enough to add to a little bag for, gobs of dubbing for flies. Maybe I should do like a little short video on that, because it does work exceedingly well to get that out. Yeah, it's a little different. It's I wonder if I have one handy. Well, let me finish this fly up. We'll do the spin and spiel there, and I'll see if I can grab one and show you guys, because it is its own animal. Like, you can't use other types of grooming combs to do the same thing, because it literally it'll cut the underfur out, and it's not like ripping it out per se. And yeah, you can just use a regular comb and just comb it, but you're gonna get whatever's loose and whatever comes out, right? Guard hairs and all. Alright, so I'll do a little spin and spiel on this, and then we'll take a quick break. I'm gonna grab some more tea, and then I'll show you that comb. We'll have a quick boo at that. So in the vise we have a CDC Emerger. This is tied in with a little bit of Zelon for the tail, about 8 to 12 strands, don't need a whole lot, just a little bit poofing out the back, and a turkey biot dyed mahogany brown wrapped up along the body with segmentation sticking out, and a little bit of beaver dubbing for the thorax, and a CDC feather up top for the shuck. Wonderful little pattern. Should definitely have a bunch of these in your box in different variations, colors, for the late spring season. These are excellent staple up here in the interior of British Columbia. Definitely want to have a couple of these in your box. Have a good one, eh? Thanks kindly. Hey, K-Fish, good to have you in, mate. But yeah, guys, I'll take. Hey, K-Fish, we're just gonna grab a short break here. I'm gonna grab a comb. We're talking about dubbing. I just happen to have a muskrat pelt kicking over the side here, so I can give a quick demonstration on how to get that out. Yeah, box is filling up quick. Yeah, I got our 3 little mergers down there. I got our yellow and partridges, our stoneflies, all our scuds, the big old biggest nymphs, which are taking up like half my box. Should probably put them in a different box. Okay guys, so I'm just gonna run a quick 5-minute break here. I'll try and be back in 5. Might be a couple minutes longer than that, but we'll do what we do. And it works better if my mic's in the right spot. There we go. We're back. Okay. Ugh. So this is the brand name one. You can find knockoffs that work almost as well as the brand name, but it is important that you get this specific type of brush for this to work as well as it does. But it's called a Firminator. Again, there's lots of knockoffs. These retail for ridiculously high price for the brand name ones. I think they start around $40 up to $80. And it looks like there's nothing special about it. But trust me, they're well worth the money if you have a pet that you need to brush out on a regular basis. They really help to get the underfur out and all the shedding. And it's really, if you look at the teeth, they look like regular teeth, but if I get the angle of the light right, you can see there's a thin kind of coped razor blade almost in the middle there. It has this cool little button that, you know, helps you push the fur out. But yeah, you can get knockoff. There's a couple knockoff brands like Eliminator and different names that are obviously knocking off the Firminator name, but I'm sure you could find it on like eBay or probably Temu, you know, the regular haunts. I have a couple of the knockoff ones as well, just because I saw them in the thrift store and went, hey, I could use another one of those. But this is a muskrat. So a full muskrat pelt. You got the front side, the back side, it's done up like a sock style. So it's folded inside out. And there's numerous areas where I've been cutting stuff off of it, so we'll use one of those. Typically, if you want like the best, like Adam's gray color is generally on the belly of the muskrat, so this whole section here, that's why this part here has been taken out. You generally get like the nicest grays in the belly of the muskrat. And the top of the muskrat, on the back here, well, one, you have a lot more guard hairs, so you got a lot more guard hairs to deal with. The guard hairs can be useful for certain patterns, or if you just want a really buggy, all get out kind of dubbing, then you can grab it off the top here. The shoulders here are another spot if you want like super fluffy, fine dubbing, where you're not as worried about the gray color because there's going to be a little bit more mottled brown in there. The two spots on each of the shoulders on either side is like the softest, fluffiest stuff, I find anyway. So that's why this shoulder's got a patch taken out of it. But in any event, if you're trying to get the underfur off a pelt and you don't want to shave the whole thing, shaving works fine. Not putting you down at all there, Maddie. I've definitely done that myself. And that's in essence what we're doing here, cutting out chunks and we're shaving it in pieces. But if you don't want to go through all that, you get yourself a Firminator. Okay, now I'm just going to work a small patch here. I'm going to try and bend this without snapping the hide. And what you want to do is run this. Sometimes it works better if you go against the grain. But just like if you're combing your dog, you run this through and it'll grab all the underfur out, just the soft fluffy stuff. And if you're just doing like a handful of flies, you don't want to muck up with, you know, spending your afternoon cutting out a bunch of fur. This works so well. And this way you can get it from either side of the pelt, and like you can see, it doesn't damage the pelt. The pelt's all still in one piece, and all the guard hairs are still there. And if you do this enough, like if you sit there for a good 20 minutes brushing it out, you'll get almost all the underfur out, and it'll just have the guard hairs left. And I've done that with a few other ones. It works a lot better. Like I'm holding it up in my hands, I don't have a lot of tension on it. If you lay it flat, or if you don't have like a socked hide like this, and you can lay it flat on a table, you can really, you know, reef on this a little more and get a lot more purchase. But now if we push this out, You can see with just like, I don't know, what was that, 12, 15 strokes or whatever, we got some nice light gray dubbing with basically no guard hairs in it. There's like a couple here that were loose, but compared to like trying to pull all these guard hairs out after you shaved your pelt, like if you want to get them separated, and again, like I said, if you can lay this thing flat on a table, you can get a big wad of this in a hurry. And like each type of pelt will be a little bit different. The beaver brushes out much nicer than the muskrat does. But you see, yeah, nice gray muskrat. Didn't have to get any weird tools, didn't make a mess, didn't get hair all over my kitchen, you know. Nice, super quick, easy way to get dubbing off hide and have almost no, like you can see there's a few little wispy guard hairs, but even like these little guard hairs that are in there, they're like the little fine guard hairs, so like they're not those heavy dark ones, they'll stay behind. But yeah, isn't that cool? Just like, you know, a couple seconds, you got yourself a really nice little puff of just under fur. Yeah, for kicks and giggles, let's just use that for the next fly. I'll put the Furminator away. There, hopefully that helps someone out there, because I've definitely found that handy. And the nice thing is, like, you don't need to, you know, like there's no damage to the pelt. You can't even tell I did anything to it other than that being smoother, I guess. But since it takes a little bit from all the areas that you're doing and just the loose stuff, you get like the finest, because when you're cutting it from when you're shaving a pelt, like you're actually cutting it off, like you're getting the fine, the medium, and some guard hairs, and you're getting everything, right? If you're brushing it out with a brush like that, like you're getting like just the absolute finest, like wispiest, like you can see that stuff, it's like finer than dryer lint, like it's just ridiculously fine and fluffy, right? Like there's almost, you can see through it, it's like there's nothing, there's no heavy stuff in there. So if you're doing like Adam's dry flies and you want to have like a really tight, fine body, in my opinion, that's the best way to go. There's other ways you can do it. You can use carding brushes and stuff like that, but once those guard hairs gets mixed in with the underfur, it's real hard to get them out. So yeah, hopefully that works. Help someone out. Like I said, I wouldn't. I mean, if you're doing a lot of dubbing, I might pay full price for one of those brushes because they work so well. They really, really do. Like, I can't emphasize how well they work. I've actually paid full price for a couple of them. But you will find them because they are such a kind of niche item. If you keep your eye open long enough in the pet sections, just as you're going through thrift stores, just, you know, spin by the pet section and look for that style of brush. There's other brushes that are used for getting mats out that are very similar looking, but they don't have that razor blade in the middle to cut the fibers. And it's not really a razor blade. The actual brush is all one piece of steel. It's just the way it's cut and machined down. It basically has the essence of a razor blade in between the teeth. And the knockoff brushes don't work as well, but they work well enough. You know, if you're not on a time scale, what does it matter if you got to do another 10 or 15 strokes to get the same amount of hair out, right? Okay, so we'll get another one of these guys going here. Kind of determined to get this done correctly. Not that they haven't really been turning out bad or anything. I'm happy with them. Just been struggling to get to that point. Yeah, I have one right here actually. Does it say that? Where did it disappear to? Oh, there it is. Yep, 22 nylon brush, and I got a 22 copper brush, and a brass one as well, but I don't use them as much because they're a little bit more on the aggressive side and they tend to tear things, but there are certain cases where I'll use the brass or the copper over the nylon. But the nylon's like ridiculously, it's got a lot of teeth to it. Yeah, very good dubbing rubbing brushes. I'll normally do it in like stages where I'll use like my I have this one just like a cleaning brush for like a razor. It has a nice little beard brush built into it. This works really good for deer hair and stuff for getting the under fur out because the metal comb doesn't build up static like the plastic combs do. And then this guy here is good for just like soft, because it's really soft bristles, for just brushing out softer, more delicate dubbing. And then I'll move up to, normally after that I'll use this guy, which is just, I have a couple of these, but just a regular kind of nylon, like toothbrush style. It's a little more stiffer than a toothbrush nylon, but obviously just an eyebrow brush. And this can work too for cleaning out stuff, but I don't use it as often. And then from there I'll go to the 22 caliber cleaning brush. And then if it's still not ripping out enough, I used to use, I know it's really common for everyone, but I used to use Velcro for a long time, and I just kind of moved away from that. There's nothing wrong with the Velcro at all, I just haven't been using it. Found that those three brushes kind of cover everything I need to do. Fuzz there trying to get it out. Probably little bits from the muskrat skin. Yeah, I don't know if you're still in. Cool, Raph. I'll check that out once I'm done streaming here because I'm interested to see that. It sounds like a good pattern. You all good if I tie it on my live if I like it? Being that's one of your patterns, I can give you a shout out for it. Not that we do this kind of thing for the shout outs, but you know what I mean. Yeah, I'll try and catch Maddie's thing if he's doing up some pelts. I like watching that kind of thing. I would like to check that out for sure. Yeah, this muskrat is floating everywhere. Poof. I haven't tied a mob fly in a good long while. They're fun little things. I always like repurposing stuff like that. It tickles me. Okay, I'm just gonna get that up here in the vice cradle, and we'll get our hackle pliers back. And some tires will put down like a layer of head cement here too, just to add a little bit more tack to it. So yeah, if you're having trouble with it slipping around, and just like a whiff, mind you, you don't need a whole lot, just a little bit. Gonna back wrap this a little bit. Got a clean spot for our dubbing to go on. See, that one turned out, you can see the segmentations on that one turned out real well. I'm having a heck of a time with those first two. But, oh, as I bumped my camera all over the place, there we go. Get back in there. Yeah, I'll check that out, Raph, once I'm done here. Grab another CDC feather. Trying to grab the lighter colored ones. A lot of these are a bit on the darker side. Just happens to be what the bird had at the time. Almost got that roll right, but not quite. Let's try that again. Yeah, if you tie them in like facing you a bit as you wrap, the thread normally pulls them straight. Wow, okay. Come on now. Well, good enough. 3 or 4 more wraps there. We'll get a couple wraps in front of it just to hold it up. Oop, that's too close. Crap, in front of it, not on top of it. There we go. There we go, a little punk rocker. That worked out well. Okay, and then we'll use some of this muskrat. You guys obviously know it's muskrat because you saw it come right off the pelt. Yeah, you can see that like just in a few seconds there I have enough to tie maybe, well, at least a dozen atoms out of that. Younger? I don't know, man. We got quite a few young guys in here. I mean, K-Fish is younger, but we got Tyler's younger too. I'm not sure actually how old Tyler is. I just know he is of the younger persuasion. That's all good. We all start at the same place. Yeah, sorry, the other K-Fish. K-Fish Pro. I don't know how, K-Fish has got to be close to that, though. Or K-Fish Pro, anyway. Don't mean to get the two of them mixed up. But you guys chose your names the same, it's not my fault. But yeah, take pride in that, man. The younger tires are what's going to carry everything, so I'm more than happy to have young tires in here. When I was like 8 to 14, I was just hungry for the fly tying information. And a lot of people would turn me away because I was younger. And that irritated me. It did not make me a happy panda. It's like, just because I'm young doesn't mean I can't tie well. Or I don't want to learn, you know? So, I feel ya. I know the struggle. I've tied on like a Regal knockoff, but pretty much for intents and purposes it was a Regal. I'd like to own an actual Regal. I've run into several that I could have purchased, but like the prices were too high for the kind of shape they were in. They were really worn out. I like the idea of a Regal vise. I don't have anything against the Regal setup. I think it's really good if you're tying like production style, where you're tying like a lot and you want to be quick about it. I think the release system and the fact that it's constantly tensioning the hook all the time is really cool. Yeah, I think they make good vices. Like, don't get me wrong. It's more just happenstance that I haven't tied on a Regal too often. I had a Regal. It was an East Indian made, you know, Regal knockoff, but it was still a good vice though. I think it depends on like the areas that you come in, because it's just like at the time that I was tying, none of the stores in my area carried Regal stuff, so I just wasn't exposed to it, other than people that bought them elsewhere and brought them in. I'd see them from other tires, but I never really had the chance to buy any Regal vices until like after the late 90s. If I saw one for sale at a good price, I would definitely pick one up, because I really enjoyed really enjoyed the whole setup for the Regal vise. I think they're, and especially for a pedestal vise, I think that their design is superior in a lot of ways to other ones. Because all of your weight and balance and everything is over the pedestal, and it's just a robust, like simple, like bare bones simple design, and I like that kind of thing just in general. I like things that are well designed and not too much flash. Oh, yeah, I've definitely done that too before. It was like, "Brrr!" And it was like my hand that I normally like clench into the vise. I was using the other hand, and I had my hand over top of it when I let go, and it was like, oh, trying to quickly get it open again. Yeah, they'll latch onto you pretty good. Just gonna do like just a whiff of head cement in on the underside here for that knot. I prefer clamps because I like my stuff to be like stable. But if you're moving around a desk or you got to clean your stuff up every time and you're not going to leave it on the desk, the pedestals are nice. Or for like travel stuff, or I guess it really just depends on like your whole bench setup. That's true too, yep. They have different options. This one's much nicer. I'm happy with this one. This one turned out smack on kind of the way I wanted it there. Yeah, it even looks good with like the slightly more gray fur there. Yeah, it's a type of midge, just a little CDC Emerger. Nothing crazy. I don't know if it's any specific pattern or like if it's named something. I have no idea. That wasn't what I was going for. Yeah, I'll do a little spin and spiel on this guy, and then he'll be done. Yeah, like some vices, like I was saying with that's one thing I like because I had a pedestal Regal at the time I had one, or the knockoff Regal, but I mean, it was pretty much the same. But the way because it's such a heavy, it's a beefy, short, stout vise that with the pedestal, it's like you could crank down on that and you're not going to move it. But yeah, I don't know. I've always tied on the corner for the most of the time on the corner of a desk with a C-clamp vise. So, I mean, I can wiggle it a bit, but I mean, I could stand on this thing and it's not going to come off my desk. Alright, so just going to do a little spin and spiel here. And the vise today, we have a CDC Emerger. This is tied on a size 12 hook with a little bit of Fentex or Zelon coming out the back, about 8 to 12 brown fibers, a brown mahogany turkey biot wrapped up around the body with a little bit of muskrat for the thorax area, and a CDC puff out the top. A wonderful little pattern. You should definitely have a bunch of these in your box in different variations, colors, and slight difference in patterns. These are excellent and well used in the later spring when it's emerging in the summer and you're getting all the bug hatches emerging out. Definitely add a couple of these to your box. Thanks kindly. There we go. And try and get this muskrat back in the box here. Where am I going to stick you? I'll just stick you in here for now. No sense wasting it. There, I just stick them into like an empty hole like that, and then I can grab them out. Okay, I don't even know if I have a... Good for you, Raf. Yeah, like getting that good in that short of time, you know, shows a lot of how much, well, effort's probably the wrong word, but, you know, passion and all that you put into learning to tie. So, that's really cool. Okay, I'm gonna drop him in here. I like the blue, to be honest. Not that color makes any difference, you know, it's 100% just vanity, but we like our pretty things. But yeah, I do like the blue. I'm just partial to blue in generally, so. There we go, there's our four little emergers there. The little CDC puffs up top. I got some deer hair from my friend and tied up a whole whack of different stuff for him. Like these little streamers here would be one of them. These little black nose dances. What else did I tie from him? This guy here, one of his streamers. Yeah, 100%. I mean, people see your live stream and they're like, "Oh, he's got a purple Renzetti. Oh my god! Subscribe, like, share." 100%. Almost out of tea. Well, I'm going to take a break from tying here, guys. I just want to thank you all for joining me this morning. Got some emergers done and out of the way. Tomorrow we'll be having, if I get everything together for it, we'll be doing a clink hammer. I think I've done that once or twice before, but it's been a bit anyway. So we'll get the clink hammer done up tomorrow. Hey, well, thanks for coming out. K-Fish, the original K-Fish. Then we got K-Fish Pro. We got Yoshi. We got Raph, of course. I'm gonna go check out your stuff you just posted there, Raph, once I get off here. Let's see who else we had today. We had Doug, of course. We had Muddy, Ewaz. We had Martin and Maddie. I feel like I'm missing someone that was fairly new. Junior. We had yeah, have a good day, everyone. Who am I missing here? I feel like we got someone new that came in earlier. Was it Mart? Might have been Mart I was thinking about. Yeah, either way. You guys all have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow.